Go ahead.
Brothers Home. Brothers Homecoming, Scene 2, Take 6, marker.
How do you think this film would have been different if there wasn't a pandemic?
I don't think this film became viral. It wouldn't exist.
Well,
Would it?
I believe it still would have existed to a level where pandemic or no pandemic, you're still gonna be, you still should consider yourself as an artist. You shouldn't let, the pandemic stop you. It probably wouldn't happen as soon as it had.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we would have found a brother's homecoming sooner rather than later, regardless if there was a pandemic or not.
All right. So what was your favorite part of the film?
That's definitely a tie for me. I have two scenes. It was the first one is the graveyard scene because of that drone shot. It looks really, really dope on film. My second favorite, or I guess my other scene that I think I like the most, is the basement scene because filming that scene was really, really fun. And I know it took a long time to set it up, but it was definitely worth it because the lighting looked incredible down there. And just being there in person, it felt like you were actually in like a haunted space, It really had the vibe.
Okay.
That was a cool scene.
So my favorite part of the filming, well, we were separate for some of the filming. So he was in certain places and I was in another place. So I really like working with other talent,
Mm-hmm.
and the person who we're making this come alive with. So I really like working with them. So definitely the basement scenes, because that was like where a majority of our partnership was at in the film.
Oh, right.
And, I feel like it really shows.
I mean, that's true. For me, I would say the making of the movie, because without the making, there would really be no movie. So it's pretty much the connections from beginning to end, from meeting, these two amazing guys to reaching out to Kenny, and delivering the script, from, assembling the crew and actually, working as a unit opposed to as individuals. I think, that was the best part for me, even though I liked the imagery, the visuals from the, like Ahsan said, that awesome drone shot at the graveyard to the suspense at the basement with like the fog machine. I think you used the fog machine.
Yeah, I did.
The lighting and just the climatic ending.
Oh, and the soundtrack.
Ending, yes.
The soundtrack.
And clearly, yeah, the soundtrack, everything, man. It's
the opening.
that's just for me, it's like everything.
It is the opening of this film with the soundtrack. It like syncs together, and like it really will enhance the visual, but also the sound and engage you visually and however you want to put it, but that
That.
All right. Since you did the air quotations around ending,
Yes.
where do you see the story going?
You're gonna have to find out. No, without giving anything away, what I can honestly say is, writing this film, there was no continuation in mind. It was just strictly a man isolated from society, a man who seemingly has, problems with his deceased brother. He didn't like him. That was the original idea. There was no idea behind, let's continue the story. This story, I can say, felt like it took a life of its own, and people seemingly want to see more. So what I can say is that this is not the end of, this story. There will be a continuation sometime in the future, but I really can't say what exactly it is. There will be a second Brothers Homecoming, yes. Absolutely.
But what I can say for a continuation of Brothers Homecoming is it will continue to be shared on all platforms. So YouTube, Prime. So check in.
Yeah. There we go. All right. Well, then for the rest of you, where would you like to see this story go?
Well, I guess
That's
I'll wait for that.
coming up on part 2.
Well, just your own idea of where you would like the story to go,
So no spoilers, but I definitely would like to see what caused the rift between the two brothers. That's probably the biggest, and I think once the audience sees the film, that's going to be the biggest thing that they would want to find out. Assuming that they are on not on speaking terms, I want to see what caused that rift, and I kind of want to see like how it got there and like what childhood trauma brought it to that into their adult life. I kind of just want to go. I don't want to go back in time with the film, but I kind of want to explore more of their past for the characters. That's for me. That's like my number one thing I want to see.
And yeah, I guess I would definitely want people to, if we're diving deep, like from what we experienced, I would just like, people to appreciate their siblings maybe a little more, just because like you never know what your siblings going through or what their experience is like growing up, you know what I mean? Because you're not the same person. And I just, just better relationships, just that's what I like to see continue if, people are going to get something from the film.
Okay.
Going off of that, I definitely want to see them like become closer and become friends again. If I can have like a happy ending, that would be ideal. But no pressure.
We can't say much.
All right. So what personal attributes helped with filming?
My migraine. I caught a migraine like halfway through, and I didn't tell nobody on set because I didn't want to like lower the vibe, because you got to keep the vibe high when you're filming. And it definitely helped because towards the end we were filming the more dialogue intensive scenes. So me being irritated and my headache, it helped me like bring out that intensity of the filming.
I was like, I wasn't acting, that was real. There you go.
It comes
The
out.
word comes out there.
It comes out.
That sun heat is no joke, bro.
Oh yeah, it was hot.
It was
I guess
hot.
when we was
It
filming.
was.
Dang,
It
wow.
was. It was.
Ooh, it's cold now.
You cold?
No,
Oh.
outside is cold.
Okay. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, you gotta check that.
No.
You gotta check that, Drew.
Right though. Shoot, I guess personal attributes for me, I guess I would just say my voice, honestly, because my character was like voice based, like that was everything. So I would just say like, the little bass I have, I just kind of tried to use it to my advantage and, to try and grab people, because I feel like I've watched, a good bit of scary movies to kind of see what a good scary voice is. Maybe I could add my own twist on it. Who knows? It was definitely a fun thing to experiment with as well, and find out my voice range.
The ideas of the approach I had coming to this film, I looked into Insidious, which was the basement scene, the Devil, the movie Devil. I don't know if you saw with the elevator with the old lady and all that stuff. I took that and I took a little Michael Bay camera skills, a little rotation.
Sprinkle a little bit of the.
I did, so I kind of, those are my ingredients I combined when making this film to give kind of a little style and flavor that it needed to tell the story.
As for me, I would say the mind. The creativity. That pretty much I put onto paper, and then from paper it became what it is today, which is a short film. So just that mind power. Not the migraine, but yeah. Definitely mind pop.
Alright. It's said that there are only like 6, maybe 7 stories, and it's all been done before. What do you do to keep it fresh?
It's a very good question. By pretty much, for one, doing your research and seeing what already came before, and then really trying to find ways to reinvent what's already been done, but to a form where clearly, again, like I don't know that many. This is me personally. I don't know that many filmmakers in the independent scene who, has a drone that they use or utilize for an amazing shot like the graveyard scene. Just really doing your research and kind of like making sure that the story is relatable and not similar to what's already been done. Granted, nowadays I feel like it really comes to movies that are very psychological in when it has to deal with mental health, and that can be put into any genre, whether it's horror, action, drama, based. That to me would be how you keep it fresh, and not do a repeat of an Insidious or a Scream or anything like that. You may pick certain things, but the story itself is what keeps it fresh, I believe.
Original.
And I don't think there's been an independent movie about, two characters who are, male. Usually it's always a female, the final girl, So it's one of those things where I think those things really help keep things fresh.
Okay.
Yes, fresh.
I have another thing just about adding on keeping it fresh. I really feel like it's the people that you cast. Like you see a majority of movies and like they usually cast like just a certain type of cast. You know what I mean? Like I feel like diversity is key. Because if you want your movie to reach platforms, you want to have a little bit of everybody in it. You know what I mean? So they can show it to their people. So.
Yeah, to add on to that, no, that's true. Like we said, casting was very important. We had so many submissions. Them two stood out the most, especially the title. When I read it, and he didn't have specific what kind of person to hire me to get cast for, I just thought automatically, people, of colors that it makes sense with the story. But also, they had the look for the role, but also I want to see the acting. When they auditioned for it, that's where it captured my attention. I said, "This is it. They're it." However, it was. I would say it was funny. I would say his headshot was not a headshot. It was a far shot. Usually, there's usually when somebody's casting, they look for somebody, something a bit professional or much closer. But for some reason, when I saw him from distance, I caught a vibe like he looked like he could play this role. I said, I want to see another picture. So he sent me a much closer headshot picture, followed by a reel, of him audition for the role. And I was like, yeah, this is it. This is one of the cast for this film. So they're the reason why the movie came out the way it came out. Honestly, I did a little magic trick with the camera and editing, but it was really the performance what really made the film the way it is. Because if I had casted somebody different, the film what you saw right now would not give that vibe that it gives right now.